Good evening and welcome to the Real Report. We're going to be covering food famine on the horizon, satellite images out west for the agricultural drought. Food banks all over the U.S. have a message for you. Another U.S. food processing plant, the 97th one in the last year or two that has caught on fire, blown up, or gone offline. A message from the UN and eating crickets out of Australia. This is one of the most important videos. I implore everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe. But above all, if you don't want to do any of that, please just share with friends, family, or anybody that you're trying to wake up. This is no longer a joke. This is going to be the most comprehensive and hopefully efficient way that I can lay out exactly what's coming. So let's get right into it. A list of 33 things we know about the coming food shortages. This is from the Economic Collapse blog by Michael. I'm going to link this down below. And every single reason he lists is hyperlinked to the original news source. You can check it out for yourself and fact check. Things are far worse than you're being told. Over the past few months, I've been carefully documenting facts that show that global food production is going to be way down in 2022. Unfortunately, most people out there don't seem to understand that the food that isn't being grown in 2022 won't be on our store shelves in 2023. We're potentially facing an absolutely unprecedented worldwide food crisis next year, but the vast majority of the population doesn't seem very alarmed about this. So I would encourage you to help me get this warning out by sharing this list with as many people as you possibly can. That's exactly what I'm trying to do here, guys. As you'll see below, we now have so many data points that it is impossible to deny what is coming. The following is a list of 33 things we know about the coming food shortages. I'm not going to read the number off. I'm just going to roll through them. Let's go. The hard red winter wheat crop in the United States this year was the smallest since 1963. However, in 1963, there were only 182 million people living in this nation. Today, our population has grown to 329 million. I'll add that there's another 30 million undocumented people in the country on top of that. It is being projected that the rice harvest in California will be half what it would be in a normal year. The U.S. tomato harvest will come in at just 10.5 million tons in 2022. That is over a million tons lower than normal. This will be the worst U.S. corn harvest in at least a decade. Year-to-date shipments of carrots in the United States is down 45%. Year-to-date shipments of sweet corn in the United States is down 20%. Shipments of sweet potatoes in the U.S. are down 13%. Shipments of celery in the U.S. are down 11%. Total peach production in the U.S. is down 15% from last year. Almost 3/4 of all U.S. farmers say that this year's drought is hurting their harvests. Thanks to the endless drought, the number of total cattle in Oregon is down 41%. Due to the drought, the number of cattle in New Mexico is down 43%. The number of cattle in Texas is down 50%. One beef producer in Oklahoma is now predicting that ground beef could eventually top $50 per pound. I've covered a bunch of these in my video in the channel Food and Famine, so please also check out why 37% of farmers are killing their own crops. I covered some of these there already. Continuing on, at least 40% of the United States has been suffering from drought conditions for 101 consecutive weeks, just shy of 2 years. Overall, this is the worst multi-year mega drought in the United States in 1,200 years. Europe is currently experiencing the worst drought that it has seen in 500 years. In some parts of Central Europe, river levels have fallen so low that hunger stones are being revealed for the first time in centuries. Corn production for the entire EU could be down by as much as 1/5 in 2022. 20%. We're being warned that there will be crop losses in France of up to 35%. Crop losses in some areas of the United Kingdom could be as high as 50%. It's being reported in Germany, crop losses up to 50%. Some farmers in Italy have already lost up to 80% of their harvest. Production in Somalia will be down about 80% this year. In Eastern Africa, the endless drought has already resulted in the deaths of at least 7 million animals. And I'll add a second point that I've covered. The United Nations has already said Africans will be facing food insecurity, aka famine. In China, they're facing the worst drought they have ever experienced in recorded history. India normally accounts for 40% of the global rice trade, but we are being warned that production in that country will be down in 2022 due to the considerable rainfall deficits in key rice producing states. A third of the entire nation of Pakistan, having the opposite problem, was underwater after recent floods absolutely devastated the nation, and agricultural areas were hit particularly hard. As a result, the vast majority of the crops in the country have been washed away, gone. Prices of fertilizers have tripled since 2021, while the prices of other fertilizers have actually quadrupled. I can attest to that as well. One payment company is reporting that the number of Americans using their app to take out, hear this, short-term loans for groceries, has risen 95%. The demand at U.S. food banks is now even worse than it was during the height of the COVID pandemic. The World Health Organization is telling us that millions of people in Africa are now potentially facing a very real possibility of starving to death. According to the World Food Program, 828 million people around the world go to bed hungry each night. Needless to say, that number will soon be much higher. UN Secretary General Antonio has publicly stated that he believes that it is likely there will be multiple famines in 2023. As global food supplies get tighter and tighter, so will the risk of civil unrest. You guys are already seeing this due to inflation and the catastrophic impact the rising cost of energy is having across the globe. Satellite images revealed agriculture wasteland across California's rice capital. Food banks all over the U.S. are overwhelmed as the cost of living pushes more into poverty. Another U.S. food processing plant erupts in flames. This one was a pizza making plant in Wisconsin on Monday. I'll link this down below as well because it lists, no joke, 97 other plants that have burned down, blown up, or gone offline due to costs. It is unfathomable. UN food official warns fertilizer affordability crisis could slash global grain production, by 40%. And to finish this video off, the newest agenda being pushed, let's eat some more crickets. Australian schools introduce eco-friendly bug snacks for children.
Yeah. Adelaide, what do you think of the chips? They're yum. Chips are great, aren't they? And these chips are even better because they think they're better for you. Did you know that? Yeah, that way, Mum and Dad might let you have more chips. Good stuff. Do you like them, Annabelle? Do you like them? Yeah.
So I'm not going to play the whole clip. You guys can already see these in stores, cricket bars, and other alternatives to food sources being promoted. That's going to wrap up this video. Please, even if you guys don't want to like, even though it would help a lot, you don't want to subscribe, I would appreciate that. Please just share it with somebody else because things are going to get bad and you need to prepare ahead of time if you haven't already been. We are running out of time. Have a good night.